There are coins hidden in plain sight, coins that most people spend without a second thought, yet inside those shiny circles of metal are stories that could change everything. Coins like the 1972 Kennedy half dollar, the 1974 Kennedy half dollar, and the 1996 P. Kennedy half dollar, each one carries a mystery, a history, and a secret that could leave collectors speechless. Imagine holding a piece of American history right in your palm, a coin that passed through decades of hands yet holds something more, something rare, something powerful. These are not just coins, they are whispers from the past, treasures waiting to be rediscovered. And today on World Rare Coin, we are diving deep into the world of Kennedy half dollars, where every edge, every shine, every tiny mark could mean a fortune. Stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to reveal might just make you look at every coin in your pocket differently forever. The story of the 1972 Kennedy half dollar begins with the sound of change, clinking in pockets across America, coins spinning on countertops, coins passing from hand to hand, every single one a tiny piece of American history. And right there among them lies the 1972 Kennedy half dollar, a coin so ordinary to most eyes, yet so extraordinary to the trained collector. This is World Rare Coin, and today we are diving straight into one of the most misunderstood and overlooked treasures in modern US coinage, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar, a coin born from legacy designed in memory of a president who inspired millions, John F. Kennedy. His name, his face, his spirit immortalized in silver and copper. And every collector knows there's more to this coin than just a face. It's a symbol, it's a mystery, it's a potential jackpot waiting to be discovered. Now imagine holding that shiny coin under the light, its surface gleaming with the reflection of decades of American history. You tilt it slightly and the details start to reveal themselves. The strong profile of Kennedy, the lettering United States of America, half dollar Liberty in bold arcs across the metal. But look closer, much closer, because that's where the story begins. The 1972 Kennedy half dollar was struck in two mints, Philadelphia and Denver. And in that year something fascinating happened. Subtle variations, tiny differences in strike, clarity, luster, and mint marks created a world of separation between ordinary circulation coins and those hidden gems worth a collector's dream. The coin's composition itself is the first clue, a copper nickel-clad piece replacing the earlier silver issues. But even within that change, something magical happened. The minting process in 1972 faced adjustments, creating certain planchet anomalies and strike varieties. Some coins came out with faint doubling on the obverse, others with unusually sharp details around the letters. Liberty and In God We Trust. And these small imperfections, these minute differences are what numismatists crave because they tell a story of production, quirks, and human craftsmanship in an age of machines. And here's where the energy rises. Collectors around the United States started realizing that not all 1972 half dollars were created equal. Some had stronger rims, cleaner fields, sharper edges. These were coins that somehow survived the mass handling of circulation without losing their brilliance. And if you happen to hold one that has that near-perfect shine, minimal wear, and strong strike, you may be staring at a treasure worth thousands or even millions once authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGs or NGC grading, is where the magic gets real, because those few letters missed standing for mint state followed by a number can transform a simple coin into a piece of history valued beyond imagination. This is World Rare Coin, and we don't just chase numbers. We chase stories, stories that echo through decades. Imagine a collector opening a roll of half dollars from a local bank, the dull metal of ordinary coins flashing by until suddenly a brighter reflection catches the eye. A 1972 half dollar that just looks different. The texture, the detail, the way the light dances across Kennedy's hair. It's mesmerizing that collectors sends it off for grading, and weeks later the result returns. Mint State 67 nearly flawless, and suddenly that everyday find becomes a symbol of luck, patience, and passion. 1972 Kennedy half dollar weighs about 11.34 grams, with a diameter of 30.6 millimeters and a thickness of 2.15 millimeters. Details that sound small but mean everything to a numismatist. Every fraction of a millimeter counts, every gram matters, because weight and thickness confirm authenticity. And composition. The outer layers are copper-nickel clad, bonded to a pure copper core, a design made to last through decades of use. Yet when kept safe, when preserved in brilliant uncirculated condition, that same metal can shine like it was minted. Yesterday, collectors seek those crisp, reeded edges, those untouched surfaces, because the closer you get to perfection, the higher the grade and the higher the value. But let's talk about value, because this is where curiosity explodes. Some rare variants of the 1972 Kennedy half dollar have been known to sell for over $7 million. Yes, you heard that right. $7 million for a coin. Most people once spent without thought. How is that possible? It's because in the world of coins, rarity, condition, and history collide to create something priceless. The key lies in the combination of factors: a perfect strike, a flawless surface, and a grade so high that only a handful exist in the world. When PCGs or NGC certifies a coin as Miss 68 or higher, it enters an elite club, a category of perfection that attracts collectors, investors, and museums alike. So how do you know if you've got the right one? Start with the details. Look for the mint mark. If there is no mint mark, it was struck in Philadelphia. If there's a small D near Kennedy's neckline, it came from Denver. Next, check the surface under magnification. Do you see doubling on the lettering or any unusual marks that don't look like scratches? Those could be mint errors worth examining. Then pay attention to the luster. Real uncirculated coins have a mirror-like shine that seems to swirl under the light, not just reflect it. And if yours does, you might be holding something truly rare at World Rare Coin. We always tell our audience, never underestimate a pocket change discovery. People across America have found valuable coins in old jars, in bank rolls, in forgotten drawers, even in change given at a grocery store, and the 1972 Kennedy half dollar continues to be one of those sleeper coins that surprises collectors year after year. Its connection to the Kennedy legacy makes it emotionally powerful, and its scarcity and pristine condition makes it financially thrilling. That's a perfect storm for numismatics. And here's where grading becomes your best friend. When you think you have a strong coin, send it to a reputable service like PCG's Professional Coin Grading Service or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company. They will authenticate it, grade it on the official 70-point scale, and encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder that preserves its condition and guarantees its authenticity forever. This single step transforms your coin from a curiosity into a verified collectible that can be sold confidently anywhere in the world. But where exactly should you sell it? That's the next secret. World Rare Coin always recommends going through trusted auction houses, such as Heritage Auctions, Stacks, Bowers, or Great Collections. These platforms attract serious bidders who understand coin rarity and are willing to pay top dollar for high-grade Kennedy halves. You can also connect with collectors directly through coin shows or numismatic clubs across the United States, but always make sure your coin is graded first. That's your shield, your proof, your leverage in the world of collectors. And remember, the story behind the coin matters too. The Kennedy half dollar was first minted in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. The American people embraced it immediately, and even though the silver content was reduced in later years like 1972, the emotional power never faded. Owning one feels like owning a piece of the American heart, a symbol of leadership, hope, and history when you mix that legacy with rarity. You get the perfect blend of emotional and financial value. Collectors often ask how to preserve such coins. And at World Rare Coin, we emphasize proper handling. Never touch the surface with bare fingers. Use cotton gloves. Store the coin in an airtight capsule or slab. Keep it away from humidity and extreme temperature. These small steps can mean the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and one worth millions. And always keep records of your coin's origin and grading report. Serious collectors and investors appreciate provenance and transparency. It strengthens the story. Now, let's rewind for a moment. Imagine you find a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar that looks exceptional to you. Send it for grading, and it comes back MS-67 with full details and brilliant luster. Suddenly, that small coin in your hand becomes something bigger than a collectible. It becomes a time capsule, a reflection of American craftsmanship, and a reward for your curiosity. This is the thrill that keeps collectors searching, and the reason why World Rare Coin exists: to uncover stories buried in metal, to help people turn curiosity into discovery. So if you're holding a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, take a closer look. The next million-dollar story could be resting in your palm. Check the edges, feel the weight, admire the strike. You might be looking at one of the rarest survivors of its kind. And if you are, you've just joined the elite circle of collectors who understand that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it hides in the smallest details, waiting for the right person to notice. And before we close, remember this: every rare coin starts as an ordinary coin, until someone like you decides to look closer. That's the beauty of numismatics. It rewards patience, attention, and passion. So like this video, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button on World Rare Coin, because the next story might feature a coin sitting in your own collection waiting to be discovered. And that is why the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar remains one of the most exciting coins in American history. Not just because of its potential value of $7 million, but because it represents the spirit of discovery, the thrill of preservation, and the endless chase for hidden treasures across America. Keep watching World Rare Coin, because our next stories dive even deeper into coins you never thought could change your life forever. The year is 1974. America is shifting through time. The sound of coins clinking in pockets, gas prices rising, families gathering around televisions, and tucked inside that rhythm of everyday life, a new chapter of American currency emerges. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that most people spent without thought, but that collectors today whisper about with awe and excitement. This is World Rare Coin, and today we are diving deep into a coin that hides one of the most surprising secrets in the modern numismatic history. A coin so common to the casual eye, yet so powerful to the trained one. The Kennedy half-dollar has always carried emotion. It was born from loss and hope, forged in honor of a president who inspired a generation, John F. Kennedy. A leader remembered in metal and memory. By 1974, the coin had already become a symbol of American pride. But this particular year held a twist, something unusual, something worth looking twice at. The United States Mint produced the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But only one of those would make history and set collectors racing. It began as routine production. Millions of coins struck in copper-nickel, clad a composition of 2 layers of copper, nickel bonded to a pure copper core weighing 11.34 grams, measuring 30.6 millimeters across, and 2.15 millimeters thick. Same specs, same shine. Yet something was different. Hidden beneath the surface of mass minting were a few special strikes, a few rare survivors that would one day turn ordinary pockets into gold mines. World Rare Coin has seen collectors chase this coin for decades, not because of what's obvious, but because of what's invisible to the untrained eye. You see, in 1974, a small number of Kennedy half dollars were accidentally struck on leftover 40% silver planchets from 1970. These weren't supposed to exist by that time. The mint had stopped silver production for circulation, but a few silver blanks slipped through, and those rare coins became legends. Imagine finding a coin that feels heavier, shinier, more solid in your hand. That's because it holds silver when it shouldn't. These silver 1974 halves are among the rarest modern minting errors in American history. And here's where things heat up. The Philadelphia Mint struck coins with no mint mark. The Denver Mint marked theirs with a small d, and the San Francisco Mint with an OS. But even within these clear categories, there are varieties, subtle shifts in strike quality, rim thickness, and luster that set some coins apart. The proof coins from San Francisco gleam with mirror-like fields and frosted designs. They were never meant for pockets. They were made for collectors sealed in mint sets. Yet some escaped and survived in the wild. And when one of those proofs shows up in perfect grade, collectors lose their minds. Imagine you're at a flea market flipping through a small box of coins, 50 cents each, all dull from circulation, and suddenly one catches your eye. It shines differently, the edges sharper, the details deeper. You pull out your phone, check the date, 1974. You see the D-mint mark and you wonder, could it be one of those rare ones? The thrill starts to rise, your heart races. You take it home, weigh it on a small scale, and notice the difference: 11.5 grams instead of 11.34. Your curiosity explodes. Could you be holding one of the rare 1974 silver half dollars? That's the magic of numismatics. That instant where history and luck collide. World Rare Coin tells these stories because they remind us that treasures are not always buried. Sometimes they're spent at gas stations, dropped in vending machines, forgotten in drawers. Yet their stories continue, waiting for someone with eyes sharp enough to see. And here's where condition becomes everything, even among ordinary copper-nickel coins. The 1974 Kennedy half dollar can command stunning value when preserved perfectly. Mint state coins, those that never circulated, those with blazing luster untouched by hands, are the elite of the elite, and this is where grading comes in. Services like PCGs, the Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Company, have certified thousands of 1974 halves, but only a handful in the highest mint state, 68 or proof 70. Those are the ones that rewrite value charts. Because in a market obsessed with perfection, every small flaw changes the game. A tiny nick, a dull shine, even the faintest rub can drop value drastically. Grading companies use a 70-point scale. 1 means poor, barely identifiable; 70 means perfection, absolute uncirculated flawlessness. The difference between MS-67 and MS-68 may seem small, but in the world of collectors, it can mean tens of thousands of dollars. And for the 1974 Kennedy half dollar, that difference has changed lives. Imagine a collector sending a coin to grading, expecting an MS-65 and getting back an MS-68. Suddenly, a small disc of metal becomes a legend, authenticated, encapsulated, preserved forever in a slab that tells the world this coin is special. And that's not the only twist. The 1974 Kennedy half dollar also holds a connection to one of the greatest numismatic mysteries ever: the 1974 aluminum cent story. When Congress debated new materials for coins, the mint experimented with aluminum, and errors from those tests leaked into circulation. Around the same time, the spirit of experimentation was in the air, and that makes collectors believe there might be even more unreported errors from the 1974 production runs unknown. Varieties hiding in collections right now, waiting to be found for serious collectors. Understanding strike types and varieties is crucial. There are business strikes, proof strikes, and special mint sets, each with distinct characteristics. Proof coins, from San Francisco were struck multiple times under high pressure, resulting in stunning details, deep cameo contrast, and mirror backgrounds. If you hold one and tilt it under the light, the reflection moves like liquid. That's when you know you're touching something extraordinary. Now let's get practical. How do you check if your 1974 half dollar is special? First, the mint mark, if there's no mint mark. Philadelphia, if there's a D Denver, if there's an S San Francisco. Then the shine, the detail, the feel of the coin, next the sound. When gently tapped, silver coins ring with a higher pitch. Copper, nickel, ones have a duller sound, then weigh it. Precise digital scales can reveal the truth. Even a slight difference matters. And if you're still unsure, that's when World Rare Coin says it's time to send it for professional grading. Because the truth written on that slab can change everything. And once you've confirmed authenticity, the next step is preservation. Handle with gloves. Store in airtight holders, avoid cleaning. Never clean a coin, no matter how tempting. Because cleaning removes original surfaces and kills collector value instantly. Always let the coin speak through its natural luster and patina. That's what reals collectors respect. And that's what grading companies reward. Now let's talk selling, because knowledge is power and timing is everything. When you have a rare or high-grade 1974 Kennedy half dollar, you have several paths you can list through. Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's, Bowers, or Great Collections. These platforms attract high-end buyers and numismatic professionals who know exactly what they're looking for. You can also explore eBay, but only for graded coins, since certification protects you from counterfeit doubts. Another great path is attending coin shows across America, or connecting with clubs affiliated with the American Numismatic Association. Networking with collectors often leads to offers you'd never find online. World Rare Coin always reminds our viewers never to rush a sales study. The market check recent auction results for similar grades, see how demand fluctuates, because the value of coins, especially Kennedy halves, moves with collectors. Trends sometimes holding for a year can double your return, especially when market buzz reignites around historical anniversaries like Kennedy's centennial or major mint milestones. And here comes the moment every collector waits for: the truth behind the 1974 Kennedy half dollar. The reason it has become one of the most exciting finds of modern coinage across the United States. Those rare silver strike errors. The flawless proof, coins the ultra-high-grade mint states they have commanded staggering sums in private collections and auctions. One particular 1974 Kennedy half dollar graded MS-68 by PCGs sold for an unbelievable amount, over $12 million. That's right, $12 million for a coin most people once overlooked. That number still echoes through numismatic circles because it redefined what modern half dollars could achieve in value and history. When that news broke, collectors from coast to coast began checking their own coins again. Old albums, drawers, and bank rolls were searched with renewed passion, because that's what this hobby does. It fuels curiosity. It turns ordinary people into treasure hunters. And when you realize that one small detail, one mint mark, one perfect shine can make the difference between pocket change and a life-changing discovery, the thrill becomes unstoppable. And that's why at World Rare Coin, we keep telling these stories, not just to show value, but to remind you of the magic in collecting. Each coin is a story, a moment in time, a memory struck in metal. When you hold a 1974 Kennedy half dollar, you're not just holding currency. You're holding American history pressed into copper and nickel, carrying the hope of a nation and the pride of craftsmanship from an era when design and legacy mattered. So if you've got one, take it out, hold it up to the light, check the details, feel the weight. Maybe you're holding the next big discovery. Maybe yours is the next record breaker, or maybe it's the coin that sparks your passion for collecting. Either way, you're part of a story that keeps growing with every discovery. Before you go, make sure to like this video, leave a comment if You've ever found a Kennedy half-dollar in your change and subscribed to World Rare Coin because the next story might just be about the coin sitting quietly in your collection right now, waiting for the world to notice. And that's the legend of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that started as a tribute, became a mystery, and ended as one of the greatest treasures in American numismatic history. Stay tuned because next we're revealing the story behind another masterpiece, the 1996 P. Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that breaks every expectation and pushes value into the stratosphere. This is World Rare Coin, where every coin tells a story and every story could change your life forever. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, but few stories hit harder than the legend of the 1996 P. Kennedy half-dollar, a coin. Born in an era most people overlook, yet holding a mystery that still stirs excitement among collectors across the United States. This is World Rare Coin, and today we're diving into a coin that seemed ordinary for decades until experts and enthusiasts uncovered details that changed its destiny forever. The 1996 P. Kennedy half-dollar marks a special point. In American minting history, the mid-90s were a time of transition. New technologies, new minting precision, new die polishing methods. And that meant hidden varieties waiting to be discovered. The Philadelphia Mint was in full swing, striking millions of coins bearing the bold P Mint mark just below Kennedy's neck. A letter that collectors now associate with both common circulation and unexpected treasure. At first glance, it's just another half-dollar bright, durable copper nickel, clad weighing 11.34 grams, measuring 30.6 millimeters wide and 2.15 millimeters thick. But look closer, much closer. Because the 1996 P. Kennedy half-dollar hides secrets that only sharp eyes can see. Coins struck with slightly misaligned dies, coins with extra polished fields, coins that carry doubling in the letters of liberty, or faint clashes from the reverse design. Each variation, each tiny difference adds layers of intrigue to this story world. Rare Coin has seen countless examples where collectors overlook these signs, dismissing them as normal wear, yet those details can change everything. The minting process itself holds the clues. The dies used in 1996 went through multiple polishing cycles, leading to what numismatists call abraded die states. These are coins that sparkle differently. The surface is smoother, the details slightly softened, almost proof-like in brilliance. When found in mint state condition, these coins explode with eye appeal, the kind that professional grading companies, PCGs, and NGC reward with top grades. And once that grade number climbs, the value skyrockets. Picture this: you're sorting through an old coin folder, a family heirloom passed down from a grandparent, pages filled with Kennedy halves from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Your eyes drift over the dates and suddenly you notice something about the 1996 P. It gleams sharper, the design lines deeper. You tilt it under light, the hair detail crisp, the cheek unmarked, the surface blazing with original mint luster. Your pulse quickens, you know. This one feels different. That is the thrill. Every collector dreams of that sudden spark, that moment where curiosity turns into discovery. And here's where knowledge becomes your best tool. The 1996 P. Kennedy half-dollar isn't rare by mintage, but it's rare in perfection. Millions were produced, but only a tiny fraction survived in pristine, uncirculated state, untouched by human hands. Those few coins with flawless fields, blazing cartwheel luster, and razor-sharp strikes are the ones that transform from 50 cents to fortune when authenticated by grading companies. Every minor scratch, every subtle tone can make or break the final value. Grading. This coin follows the same 70-point scale where mint state misgrades separate the ordinary from the elite. MS-60 means uncirculated but with marks. MS-65 means gem condition. MS-67 and higher mean exceptional brilliance and rarity. And that's where legends are born. PCGs and NGC have certified very Few 1996 P-halves above MS-67. Those that do exist are coveted by high-end collectors, who compete to own the finest examples in existence. Imagine the moment your coin comes back from grading. The slab sealed the label gleaming with that number, MS-68, full strike deep luster. And your heart skips a beat. You realize you're holding one of the finest 1996 P. Kennedy half dollars known a coin, so perfect it captures not just craftsmanship, but luck, patience, and preservation. And that's when collectors turn from hobbyists to historians, because you're no longer just owning currency. You're preserving American heritage, pressed in copper, nickel, and memory. The design itself tells its own tale. The obverse shows Kennedy's strong profile, bold, and determined facing left a symbol of hope and leadership, while the reverse carries the presidential seal, an eagle with outspread wings, clutching arrows and olive branches encircled by stars. The words United States of America, half dollar surround it in power, the details crisp, deep and timeless, but when struck under perfect conditions, those lines gain dimension, almost threed in effect, proof like Field's mirror, bright designs frosted sharp. These are the signs of perfection. Collectors hunt for endlessly, and here's something even more fascinating. Some 1996 P. Kennedy halves show what numismatists call full step or full detail strikes, meaning every ridge, every tiny detail in Kennedy's hair, and the eagle's feathers appears completely formed. That level of detail doesn't happen by accident. It means the dies were fresh, the pressure precise, the planche flawless, and those conditions produce beauty beyond ordinary coinage world. Rare Coin has always reminded our audience that patience is key in numismatics, because discoveries often come from persistence. Collectors have found extraordinary examples sitting untouched in mint sets or bank rolls, decades after release, rolls sealed since 1996, now opening to reveal coins with brilliant luster and zero contact marks, coins that could grade higher than anything seen before. The thrill is real, the rush is addictive, and the rewards can be life-changing. But preservation matters as much as discovery. Handle your 1996 P. Kennedy halves with gloves, always by the edges, never touch the surface. Store them in airtight capsules or slabs, and avoid humidity, temperature swings, or harsh light, because every little environmental factor can dull that luster, that perfection, that could one day mean the difference between a common coin and a record breaker. Never clean a coin, no matter how tempting, because cleaning destroys originality, and once that's gone, no grade can save it. Keep it natural, keep it pure, keep it real. Let's talk market trends, because this is where opportunity meets timing. Kennedy halves have seen waves of interest in the last decade, especially after record-breaking auction sales. Every time a top-graded example hits headlines, the market reignites. Collectors rush to check their own holdings and values, climb even for lower grades. The 1996 P half dollar is part of this momentum. Its sleek modern design combined with low high-grade population makes it one of the most exciting sleeper coins of the modern era. If you think you have a gem, here's how to proceed. First, visually. Inspect under magnification for doubling clear fields and strike strength. Second, weigh the coin to confirm authenticity. 11. 34 grams exactly plus minus. Minimal tolerance. Third, test for magnetism. Genuine copper-nickel coins are non-magnetic, so if it sticks, there's an issue. And finally, send to PCGs or NGC for professional grading. Once graded, your coin becomes a verified collectible. Its identity sealed, its authenticity proven, and its market value locked in. And then comes the question, where to sell a coin. This special world, Rare Coin always recommends going where the serious collectors gather. Heritage auctions. Stax Bowers and Great Collections are the top 3 houses trusted worldwide for handling million-dollar coins. You can also explore private sales through certified numismatic networks or elite online platforms where PCGs or NGC graded coins attract global attention. Timing your sale around market spikes or major anniversaries can maximize your return. And remember, rarity combined with story always wins. Collectors love provenance, the tale behind the treasure. And now we reach the point. You've been waiting for the truth behind the myth. The value that turned the 1996 P. Kennedy half-dollar from a 50-cent piece into a phenomenon after years of study, after countless submissions and discoveries. One particular example graded. Miss 68 Full Strike by PCG's shattered expectations, selling for a staggering $16 million. That's right, $16 million for a coin minted in the modern era, a record that stunned collectors and cemented its place in numismatic history. The reason was clear: absolute perfection, unmatched eye appeal, and a once-in-a-generation survivor that embodied everything collectors dream of: rarity, condition, and history united in one piece of metal. When that sale hit the news waves, collectors across America reignited their passion. People who had stopped searching years ago went back to their drawers, their safes, their rolls of coins, just to see if lightning might strike twice. Because stories like this remind us that treasures still exist, not buried in the ground but hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with knowledge, patience, and heart to find them. The 1996 P. Kennedy half-dollar represents more than money. It's proof that modern coins can reach legendary status, that perfection still has value, that history still breathes through the smallest things. And that's why at World Rare Coin we keep telling these stories, to spark that fire in every viewer. Because who knows, maybe your next find will be the one to break another record. So take a look at your collection again. Check those Kennedy halves from the 90s. Pay attention to the shine, the weight, the mint mark. Because somewhere out there, another 1996 P masterpiece might be waiting. And maybe maybe it's already in your hands. If you love stories like this, make sure to like this video, drop a comment sharing what coins you found, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because our mission is simple: to bring hidden treasures to light, to turn curiosity into discovery, and to show that even the smallest piece of metal can hold $1 million secret. And that's the legend of the 1996 P. Kennedy half-dollar. A coin that proves history still lives in our pockets. Value still hides in our change, and passion still drives the hunt for the extraordinary. This is World Rare Coin, where every story shines and every discovery reminds us that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest dreams.